Okay, I'm not often in front of the camera. Usually I'm in front of the camera talking about, stupid stuff like the time I lit potato chips on fire, and that one time I got in front of the camera for a video version of Friday Fun Day. Sorry, that's just herbs in the background. Not herbs, vitamins in the background. But this time, there's something I want to address that has to stop, and that's racism. The whole concept of judging somebody based solely on the color of their skin is stupid and has to stop at all levels. You know, Another thing I've noticed is that people are having issues with the Aretha Franklin funeral because apparently some of the people who sang at that funeral were white. Well, and not everybody was black who sang. Well, I remember reading somewhere that Aretha Franklin inspired a lot of people to become singers, both black and white, and also Hispanic as well. And I think anybody can inspire anybody regardless of skin color. And, I didn't do much research on her, but I believe she was a member of the Supremes, along with Diana Ross and another chick. If that's the case, my mom likes listening to the Supremes still. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with somebody of a different skin color memorializing somebody else of a different skin color. It's, music is music. And the race of the person making the music should not matter. I mean, seriously, it should not matter if the singer was black and the person who likes the singer's music is white, or if the singer is white and the person who likes that singer's music is black. It shouldn't matter. Like I said, music is music. Now, the whole thing with the video game shooting. Well, as a gamer, I'm going to have to say that not all gamers want to kill people. In fact, you know, I believe 99% of gamers don't want to do any real world harm. And I'm hoping that they don't further blame hack and slash and first person shooter video games, also known as violent video games, for causing the shooting. Now, yes, I think it's kind of stupid to, shoot up a place over losing a football Madden game. Um, I'm not a fan of football video games. I have played them, couldn't figure them out for anything in the world, but prefer the racing games in terms of sports games. But, people should be able to their enjoy their hobby without being, without being judged for it. And also without somebody else coming in and shooting it up. Now, the whole thing with the guy that was there that was injured that's suing several people, I have to say this. No matter how much you patrol a place, I think you could get 100 police officers surrounding a venue, and if somebody is determined to bring in guns and shoot it up, they're gonna go do that. I I believe that personal protection is something that every single person is responsible for. And you can't rely on security guards, event staff, and police officers to protect you. You have to ultimately rely on you to protect you. Now, another thing that's I'm gonna guess is gonna come up is gun control. Okay, I've noticed a trend here, and I did some research. First off, I'm a registered Democrat, so you know where I'm coming from, but on the research I did was that I found out that, and this is all stuff you can Google, that the places and the countries with the least amount of gun control have far less shootings than the ones with the most amount of gun control. And I didn't memorize it off the top of my head, but it's all on YouTube. Instead of looking at gun control and looking to regulate, you know, video games, certain kinds of video games, I think what we need to do as a country, we need to work on increasing our mental health care services. All we have for mental health care is the stupid Florida Baker Act, which all they do is the cops come. If you're lucky, you only get handcuffed. If you're not lucky, you get the handcuffs and or waist chain and leg shackles. Um and you get taken away. And instead of something like that, I think what needs to happen is we need to have maybe places where people can go, maybe discreetly or maybe talk anonymously if they're, and get real world help who have mental health issues instead of the way we handle things, not just in Florida, but in other states as well. Speaking of Florida, I think this state is way backwards on so many levels and that there's no fixing it. But sorry, this is kind of rambling all over the place, but there's a few things I just wanted to say. And and I'll touch briefly on this one. The whole Papa John's debacle thing. First off, I can't follow it for anything in the world. I've tried to, but it just seems like a big media shouting match, basically. And that whole thing, that company's gone downhill since that started. And I think that the only way they can resolve that is maybe put in somebody, a COO that knows how to handle a company that's under major stress like that. Because I think it's taking away from the quality of their product. Now, I'm not going to say anything past that, but I hope that they can rebrand themselves as a non-racist company. And if not now, maybe in the future. But while we're on the subject of racism, racism is a failed concept. It is something that needs to completely be a thing of the past. It needs to be something that, our kids or our grandkids read in history books as people used to have this backwards notion, blah, blah, blah. But we know now that's untrue, so blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Yes, I write books. Yes, I publish, but this is beyond the material that I write and publish. Anyway, I just wanted to say again, we need to we need to work hard to make racism a thing of the past. And we need to not only in its current form, but all forms of racism need to be abolished and left in the past. Anyway, like I said, this is my first serious video. Sorry the lighting isn't good. Sorry the camera kind of moves around. But there's stuff that I felt that I needed to get in front of a camera to say instead of just writing it in a blog.